Trudy, this challenge, 3 years in the making.
And it certainly took a while to get there, Tom. An hour and a half or so nearly behind closed doors, the Nationals locked away, determining their new leadership. Barnaby Joyce's comeback, you've got to say, 3 years in the making. He has always wanted to return as Deputy Prime Minister. This morning, he cut a pretty low profile comparatively to the last time he tried to challenge for the leadership in February of 2020. This time only doing that brief morning television interview that he usually does, downplaying his prospects even there that he would win back the top job. But that is exactly what's happened. His key backer, Matt Canavan, moving to spill the leadership at this meeting. It's then triggered this vote process. We do not know the final outcome of the vote tally. 11 is the magic number. Here was the Nationals Chief Whip, Damian, on the result.
There was a spill motion put forward. Spill motion was carried. We had an election, and Barnaby Joyce has been elected leader of the National Party at a federal level, and will therefore be going through the various situations that he has to go through. He has to go through a process now to be sworn in, to have all the conversations, to talk to the Prime Minister, and effectively get on with the job of representing our people.
What's this say about your party now?
The most democratic party in Australia.
What was the result
of the vote?
Next.
What was the
we take it David Littleproud to sell the deputy leader of the Nationals.
Yeah, all of those sort of decisions will be in due time. Barnaby will be giving a press conference later on this afternoon.
Heading into this Nationals party room meeting, Michael McCormack had made it very clear that he would need to be blasted out of this role. He was not going to countenance standing aside to make way for Barnaby Joyce, but he has had to leave that position now. It's the will of the party room that he no longer lead them to the next election. Have a listen to what he had to say as he left the party room meeting.
I think for this, it's all anyone can ever ask.
Are you disappointed today you've been rolled? You've served a number of years in this job.
That's
Have your colleagues betrayed you?
It's called democracy.
What did you say to your party, Mr McCormack?
I said thank you for having the great privilege of serving them.
In the wake of this leadership change, there are a lot of unanswered questions. Is there enough time before question time for Barnaby Joyce to be sworn in as the Deputy Prime Minister and therefore sit in that seat while we know Scott Morrison remains in quarantine at the Lodge? Also, crucially, what's going to happen with the Nationals' agreement with the coalition? Are we going to see major policy changes? We know there's been a stoush looming over net zero emissions. And finally, what changes are we expected to see now within the Morrison cabinet? There's been talk that Bridget McKenzie could be re-elevated back into cabinet. Could Darren Chester, we know a public supporter of Michael McCormack, lose his position in cabinet? And what about the key backer, Matt Canavan? He's previously been in cabinet. He did indicate to Sky News this morning that he was not agitating for a return to cabinet.
You want to return to the front bench?
No, I don't. I'm quite happy being a senator for Queensland. I suppose I've enjoyed my time in the last year and a half.
You have no interest at all?
No, that's what I've said to others. That's not what I want to do. I think there's a role for an independent voice in the Senate to play for regional Queensland, in particular in my case.
Now, there's been an indication that Barnaby Joyce will hold a press conference. There's plenty of questions, Tom, that he'll need to answer, not only about the policy direction that he wants to put forward for the Nationals now, but also what deals have been done behind the scenes to secure this leadership position.